China is ramping up its military drills near Taiwan. The People's Liberation Army designated much of the waters surrounding the island as live fire zones. And Taiwanese officials say some rounds have landed closer to their soil than ever before. But President Trump says he's not worried.
I have a great relationship with President Xi, and he hasn't told me anything about it. I certainly have seen it, but he hasn't told me anything about it, and I don't believe he's going to be doing it.
I believe that he's going to be doing it. I don't mean to just immediately like not agree specifically, right? But I do not trust Xi Jinping or Putin. They're two individuals that I don't trust, like by default here. Kind of along with the supreme leader of Iran, also. Like these four. Let's talk about Maduro also. Like we can throw all these in a bunch here, right? Understand this here. If they're doing something, I think that they are like doing it for overall nefarious purposes. Let's say here. Xi Jinping decides to basically start launching military drills off of, the coast of Taiwan. We already know that China wants to take Taiwan. Okay, Japan is already saying if you encroach on any of the waters or even encroach on Taiwan, kind of by default, what's going to happen? All right, they're already talking about removing people's heads over there, bro. All right, China knows exactly what they're doing here. I'm not sure why we're not. Kind of saying that out loud, unless there's something, let's say surprising happening in the background that we do not know about yet, let's say.
Anything about it, and I don't believe he's going to be doing it.
Does it worry you?
Okay.
No, nothing worries me. Nothing. They've been doing that for 20, 25 years.
I love the bravado,
Let's bring
bro.
in former Trump National Security Council Chief of Staff Alex Gray. Alex, great to have you here. Appreciate your time this afternoon. Just to start us off where the president began things, should he be worried?
I actually don't think the president should be worried, and neither should the American people.
Well, by default, that, yes, because it has nothing to do with us. Immediately has nothing to do with us. But if they do take Taiwan, then we have a problem.
As long as he's sitting behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office. We've known this for years, that China looks at American leaders, sizes them up, and makes decisions based on what they believe is the fortitude of the American leader in question to actually do the things necessary to deter China, and if worse came to worse, intervene in a way that would stop their bad behavior. I think they look at President Trump the way Vladimir Putin did during President Trump's first term, and they say decisively, not on his watch. We don't want to take the chance of what might happen if we were to do something drastic like invading Taiwan or blockading Taiwan while Donald Trump's president of the United States.
Do you think that the president also believes, though, that it's not a matter of if but when
yes,
it
it's a
comes
when
to China's
scenario.
designs on Taiwan? I mean, you have this from the foreign ministry. External forces attempts to use Taiwan to contain China and to arm Taiwan will only embolden the Taiwanese independence forces and push the Taiwan Strait toward a dangerous situation of military confrontation and war. I believe at one point we were estimating as a country that 2027 was the date that Xi Jinping had in mind. Has that date moved? And do you think the president believes that this is an eventuality?
Well, I think that the Chinese are constantly evaluating what the Taiwanese are doing for their own defense and what is the United States doing to make sure that the military balance between us and the Chinese is in our favor. 2027 is a number that's been thrown. It's a year that's been thrown out for a long time. But I think the Chinese are constantly evaluating what are the chances of success. And I think as long as Donald Trump's president and as long as we continue to do the sorts of things President Trump has done this term, like giving an unprecedented arms sale to Taiwan just a couple weeks ago, like continuing to build up the U.S. Navy so that we have deterrent capacity in the Pacific, all those things are going to be taken into account. And if the president continues on that trajectory, I don't think anything has to be inevitable with China and Taiwan.
That's great. While I have you, I want to get your thoughts on the other conflict that has been occupying a lot of the president's time. He's been putting in a lot of effort to bring Russia's war on Ukraine to an end. He believes that Putin does want peace, but President Zelensky doesn't seem to buy that. Listen to what he told Rip Air.
Don't buy that.
Is there
it's probably not for sale, guys.
That Vladimir Putin wants peace by what he's doing or saying?
He doesn't speak about peace. Now he doesn't speak. He says that he can go further. It's not the signals of peace. So that's why, of course, we need dialogue and pressure from President Trump. Sanctions, dialogue, he has some instruments, and he's personally can do it. I think, and I think that he's trying to do it, trying to bring this peace.
Zelensky's got a tough line to walk there. He needs to keep the president's support and try to make some concessions. But he's gone so far as to say, look, we will give up territory to Russia that it hasn't conquered yet, but let the Ukrainian people vote on it. And, you know, the condition is a 60-day ceasefire to make sure that that vote is legitimate and hasn't been interfered with. And Russia's saying no. But the president still believes that Russia does want peace. What do you think it is that he is seeing that Zelensky's not seeing?
Am I like a nihilist or something,
I don't
guys?
think the president has any confusion about what type of leader or person Vladimir Putin is. And I don't think the president thinks Vladimir Putin wants peace because he's a peacemaker. I think he views Vladimir Putin as a eminently rational actor on the global stage who understands that this war is revealing the inherent weakness of the Russian state. This war has revealed just how weak the Russian military is, how weak Russian society is. And I think the president understands that Putin is going to come to the table because ultimately this war is not going the way he planned, not because Vladimir Putin has good intentions.
All good points. Alex Gray, always great talking to you. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Okay. Bro, I agree with you for the most part here. Like when it comes down to the right to defend oneself exclusively, yes, I think everyone has the right or should have the ability at least to kind of be able to defend themselves. But what are we talking about specifically? Taiwan is not China, right? It's just not. It's not. There are some places that obviously recognize that that's not the case here. But Taiwan is not China, right? So, and if the Western world dictates that it's not, and then Taiwan has its own legitimate independence here, China is basically focusing on like the one China policy, trying to basically bring Taiwan back into the fray because for the most part, Taiwan is a stain in the history of China's like honor-based type of society. If that makes any sense here, it looks terrible for them personally. They have the right to defend themselves, in fact, here. But with all the backing specifically coming from other places, kind of around the world right now, I don't know, bro. If China continues pushing the line, let's say, there will be other countries that are going to like immediately get involved, and Japan is one of the ones who are immediately looking to get involved if China specifically tries to overtake, at least, right? And I think that's just kind of, where we are right there. They do have the right to defend themselves. Everyone has the right to defend themselves. I will not say that, just because you are who you are, you don't have the ability to kind of protect your country. Bro, protect your country. I like that for you guys, right? But what's going on here is that China specifically is now starting to do like military exercises specifically in, like along the Taiwanese Strait, and that is enough to basically kind of they're pushing the line here. They're saying we're just doing military exercises. Like don't believe your lying eyes, but it's like, dude, we know what's going on here, okay? And I get it when Trump said it doesn't matter, if that makes any sense. Like it's not something that kind of has the ability to affect Americans. He's right. Immediately, like it doesn't have the ability to immediately affect Americans, but if China in fact takes Taiwan, they are going to be up on us in a massive way in terms of like the semiconductor race, the ability to build semiconductors, the skilled labor required also. So if they overtake Taiwan, then now all of a sudden China now in fact becomes the world power without a singular doubt here. So that does affect us, a secondary effect, but the initial effect is not really a thing, because again, what happens over there has nothing to do with us immediately, if that makes any sense. But the secondary or tertiary, things that are going to come from it, at least those things affect us, like in fact. But all right, so let's go ahead and jump into the next one here. Let's see what we have here. What is this video? What's interesting is that like when it comes down to like Russia, Ukraine, there's so many conspiracies, right? There's so many, and that's definitely one of the ones at least that I've encountered here. And we're gonna just call it a conspiracy temporarily because there's no like actual like 100% proof kind of to back it. But It sounds legitimate, like it could be something as petty as that. Truthfully here, like I've also heard another one where, and again, this is we're gonna class this as a conspiracy because there's no data that's backing it. The Ukrainian language, Russian language, they're so close together. Let's say this year, that the Ukrainians are basically pushing for democracy and all these other things, and Putin and his cohorts really don't want that type of thing. Ukrainian media is basically depicting all types of, democratic type of leaning type of theories and things, and Putin does not like that. It could be as simple as that, but again, that is another conspiracy, being that there's no like actual backing that backs that statement there. Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to like promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies, and I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings, and we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry. Right? Listen, like and subscribe.